Well, hello everyone. It's like you talk about here is talk about issues it is. Talk about say so far as for problems and issues it is, and more likely that we'll face is talking about if it's money related or if it's paperwork, which either way. But talk about right here is talk about if we were to be going to a dentist, it is a doctor or the dentist or the therapist it is. Say right here it's like with the dentist it is. And they have you a lot of times complete paperwork such as like maybe your name, and of course say with the insurance coverages of course that you have, and of course with the co-payment it is that you may have. And a lot of times it's like, well, that I going to the dentist and knowing about hey, that you may find about maybe 3 cavities since it's been 9 years since I've been to a dentist it is. And I talk about say for the talk issues of a talk about it's been 9 years since I've been to a dentist, and you may find like what you call it's like fillings or anything like that, and they get your insurance information and like talking about like so far as like talk about say dental, it's like so far as say but you go to a doctor and then they check you out and then find out that I'm like, well, that they mention about maybe some irritation of course to your gums whenever you brush your teeth it is. Like anybody maybe think about like, yeah, you're gonna maybe find at least 1 or 2 cavities since it's been 9 years or so since I've been to a dentist. And then I'm like, well, you don't eat too many sweets, do you? And then I'm like, oh, I eat sweets at times. And then about after 10-15 minutes after they take an x-ray and of course looking around and say with the mirror it is, that the tools that they have there, of course at the lab it is, and then it's like, well, we have not found 1 cavity. So on your hand, dude, doc, yeah, hey, you did not find 1 cavity. You didn't find 1 cavity? No. Well, it's been over 7 years since I've been to a dentist. We didn't find 1 cavity. I'm talking about 1. You did not find 1 cavity? No. Okay, what does that mean? Continue to blush and floss and brush your teeth. It's like to say with the toothpaste. And knowing about with the type of toothpaste, anybody probably think about really about almost any kind, of course, that could be used to this. Say with a mouthwash. This is the kind of things that more likely, like the toothbrush and say with the dental, say with the water. It's like with the water flosser it is. This is the type of stuff that more likely we probably don't want to have to deal with maybe before you go to bed and whenever we wake up in the morning it is. But on your hand too, that knowing about, like talk about say with the doctors or if it's medical stuff it is. Let's talk about, like I thought you would find 1 cavity. I thought you would maybe find 1 root canal. We didn't find anything. And talk about, if you can just do this right here, then more likely that you'll come up and say, ding! But you may come up and say with that perfect smile it is. And anybody may think about, I'm like, yeah, besides what you call like for medical it is, so far it's been 9 years since I've been to a dentist and they didn't find 1 cavity. How is that possible? Because usually after 3 years since I've been to the dentist that they find maybe about 1 or 2 of them. And knowing about we taken an x-rays and we looked at their teeth and we didn't find not 1. It's like talk about us like so far as to say, we found this, we found this. 0. But other than that right here, I'm talking about saying with the dentist, it's like, well, I'll tell you what, doc, so what's up, doc? So I guess you won't be charged to my insurance company after all. But other than that, like talking about say between MRI and of course with x-ray it is, and we probably think about, hey, I can talk about it's like with the dentist it is. Like so far as like, hey, like the co-payment, if the co-payment was 3, if it was $300 it is. Like so for your co-payment for the x-ray it is cardiogram, whichever it is, your blood test that could be done and I'm like, hey, I might besides say brushing your teeth it is, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, if your co-payment is this amount, well, depending on what type of payments that more likely you'll take, such as if it's going to be credit card, Visa or MasterCard Discover it is, or anything like that, and cash or anything like that. And I'm like, well, because if you only take cash only, then that maybe it could be a problem, as some people maybe think about, that could be a problem. But let's just say for kids though, with most of the time with kids though, that they can maybe think about. I'm like, yeah, they go to the dentist and then they're given like what you call like the miniature brush, the miniature brush, and then like the kid like if their co-payment is only about maybe 50 cents. It's like anybody maybe think about, 50 cents for a co-payment, to go to the dentist. It is like, yeah, kiddo. Yeah, you can afford 50 cents, can't you? Right, just brush your teeth every day. Just brush your teeth every day to be able to go ahead and afford. It's like for 50 cents. And like, I can talk about that kind of money could be going into a pity bank. But other than that, I talk about going to the dentist. But I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna tell the doc? What are you gonna tell the dentist? But other than that, I talk about like I thought you would at least find one. Like, yeah, well, we only found 0 to -0. What is -0? It means pretty much it's like, what is a good answer for so far as the issue for what you call nothing. But other than that, I talk about right here, like if you go to the dentist or the doctor and they find out that that there ain't nothing really major or anything wrong. Other than that, I talk about like what's the worst thing what's the best thing of course you can hear besides to say it's the worst thing you can hear. And so far as like, oh, you ain't got no insurance. But other than that, I talk about right here. It's like, say with the paperwork though, you open up the paperwork and then I say go page, you go page, and then look at, say, file pages, it is page, and then knowing about, knowing be able to get your coverage, it is, I talk about if it's paid for, maybe by your work, or if it's paid for, maybe by, let's say, maybe if it's help from the state or anything like that. And a lot of times, I always like to say with the doctor, like knowing about what's the worst thing that you can hear, other than the fact about that, that you have insurance, but then now you don't need to use it at this time because we didn't find anything wrong. And like if I that's the best thing I can hear. I'm like, no, they didn't find anything wrong. But other than that, like I talk about here, so with anybody like say. Say, what, Doc? Well, we didn't find any problems, so you can go and get out of my office. But I talk about, really, Doc? I thought you would at least find one. We did not find one, sir. So you can go ahead and get out of my office. But other than that, right here, as I talk about right here, it's all like me if I say like lollipop, ooh lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. But other than that, I talk right here. So say for the talk issue, I know about as so far as the best ways, of course, of how to work out our issues of knowing about is like so far as it's like if just one simple thing that more likely could change something. But other than that, like right here, I talk about say smart decision, almost like for a smile, and so far as say the talk issue.